Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is Ijoma here, and in today's video we are going to learn how to make this beautiful milkmaid top. I used a thick chiffon fabric for this tutorial. You also need a bias, you need an eyelet, you need a zipper, you will need an elastic for this. So I used 2.5 yard of this thick chiffon to achieve this. So guys, if you want to get more tutorials from me, do not forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. This year we are going to be putting out amazing ready-to-wear styles. So guys, let's get to our pattern drafting. We'll do our pattern drafting first, then we will cut on the fabric. The pattern drafting is very easy. Here is my pattern paper. I have my bust point, my half length, my full length, and the allowance. These are the vertical measurements that I need for now. So from my shoulder, my bust point is 10 inches. My armhole should be 8 inches. Then my half length is 17 inches. The full length is 22 inches. I used 22 inches for my full length. You can do more than 22 inches if you want. It is up to you. So I will go ahead and mark my dart line. At the half length, I'll mark my nipple to nipple. That is 4 inches. This pattern drafting is very easy. Then I'll extend that 4 inches line to the bust point and to the full length. Then I will take out, at the full length, I'll take out 1 inch for my dart, and that dart will stop at 1 inch below my bust point. I'll take out 1 inch at the full length. After that, I will measure my bust. My bust is 34 inches divided by 4 plus 1 inch for seam allowance. I will mark what I got. And my half length, I will take my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 27 divided by 4 plus 1 inch for this dart. At the half length, that is half inch, plus 1 inch for the dart, and then 1 inch for seam allowance. At the full length, I will mark my hip measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch for this dart and another 1 inch for my seam allowance. And after marking that, I will go ahead and connect my lines. After connecting these lines, I will cut out the remaining parts of the pattern paper. We are not going to be needing a shoulder for this, but I want to start from the shoulder so that we can understand better. So at the full length, I went up by 3 inches at the side and I slanted. I want the side of this top to be slanted. After doing this, I will cut off the remaining parts of the pattern paper. I will start from the armhole. You can see I did not measure any neckline for this. I will start from the armhole, the full length, and I will cut off. So this is what we have for now. Right now, we are going to determine where we want the neckline of this top to start from. If you want your own neckline to come up, fine. I want mine to start at 7 inches. If you want to bring it down to 8 inches or 9 inches, it depends on how low you want that top to be, that gathered area. It depends on how low you want it. So mine is at 7, and I'll go ahead and slant. You can see what I have there. I'll go ahead and mark my line. So right now, I will cut off from here. This is where our new neckline will start from. I hope you understand. This is where our new neckline will start from. So this is for the front. I will go ahead and use this front to cut the back. This is an off-shoulder top. This is a new pattern paper. I will place my front on this pattern paper and I will add 1 inch or 2 inches for zipper allowance. It depends on, maybe you can use half an inch for your zipper allowance if you want, since this is a ready-to-wear top. I'll cut out the sides. The dart remains the same, and I'll also indicate my zipper allowance. I'll label my zipper allowance so that I will not forget. If you want to take out a dart at the back, fine. If you don't want to take out a dart, it is still okay. I want to label this back. So if you know you will not take out a dart, you can go ahead and reduce this back part by 1 inch. Since you are not adding, you can reduce it by 2 inches or 1 inch, since you are not adding your dart to it. So right now I'll go back to the front. I'll get my bust point, that is 10. From there I will measure my under bust, that is 13. I will indicate my under bust 13, but I made it 13 and a half so that this gathered area will sit right under my bust area. It should sit perfectly. If your under bust is 14, come down by 14 and a half, or you can even make it 15 so that it will sit right at your under bust. So this is my under bust, and I have labeled my new chest line. From the under bust, I will cut off this pattern paper. Since that gathered area will stop at the under bust, I will cut the pattern paper from my under bust. I hope you understand. So right now you will do some indications. This upper part will be on fold, but the lower part will be open. Remember, the upper part will be on fold, but from the under bust down will be open. So indicate it so that when you are cutting out, you will not be confused. Right now I'll open up my dart. I want this lower part to be a 2-piece. That's why I'm opening up this dart. I don't want to pick it. I want it to be 2. After opening this one, I will keep them aside. Then for the upper part, we are going to do slash and spread in order to get the gathers that we want. I'll go ahead and slash my upper part, that is the gathered part. The under bust to the full length is okay for now, so I'll label my center and my side to avoid confusion. Here is the upper part. I will slash it by 2 inches, like it will be 2 inches wide. Each part will be 2 inches wide. So this is the last part. Let me just make it 1.5. I will go ahead and cut from these areas that I measured my 2 inches. This is what we call slash and spread. We will use it to cut out the top. So after slashing, you place it on your fabric, and then you cut out the fabric that you will use for your gathers. So this is what I have now. I will keep it aside. I'll label 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 so that when you are placing on your fabric, you will not be confused. This is my fabric, and remember, this upper part will be on fold. You can see I am folding my fabric. After folding it, you start placing those papers on this fabric. I will place the number 1, and then the number 2 will be 2 inches apart from the number 1. All of them will be 2 inches apart, away from each other, 2 inches away from each other. You can see how I'm placing this, and after placing, you go ahead and check if you have 2 inches space between them. This is number 1. You have 2 inches at the top for allowance. Remember, we are going to add elastic. The 2 inches at the top is for elastic. Then this is number 4, and you also add number 5. All of them are 2 inches away from each other. So when cutting, you come down by ½ an inch. This is your allowance for joining the top and the down part together. I don't know if you understand. Then the 2 inches above is for our elastic. You will use 2 inches to fold the top before inserting your elastic. So this is what I have by now, and if I remove my papers and open this up, you will see that this fabric is on fold. Please do not open this particular part if you are cutting. You can see that it is on fold. So right now, the top area, the gathered area is set. I'll go ahead and cut out the lower part. And remember, I told you guys that I want the lower part to be 2-piece. So when you are cutting out the down part, remember to add ½ inch seam allowance along that area. I am folding my fabric. This is the center and this is the side. So remember that this lower part will be open. This place that I labeled open will be for that eyelet area. And if I am cutting, I will add ½ an inch at the top. This ½ an inch is for joining the upper part and the lower part. So before that open area, you add 2 inches. This 2 inches is the area that I will fold before adding my eyelet. You can see I did not cut exactly on the pattern paper. I came in by 2 inches before cutting the center piece. So you fold these 2 inches for your eyelets. That area needs to be thick. It has to be thick. You fold it for your eyelet. You can see the one folding it. You fold it before you add your eyelet, and that is 2 inches. I also have half inch around that area. So this is the lower part of the front, and this is the upper part for the front. You can see what I have there. So right now we will cut out the back. The back is very easy. I said that if you want to add your darts, you can add your darts for the back. But if you don't want to add your darts, you can reduce your back part by 2 inches or 1 inch, because we use the front to cut the back in order to eliminate that dart allowance. So after cutting the back, I'll open my zipper allowance. This top will have a zipper allowance so that it will be very easy to wear. You will have to add a zipper to it so that it will be very, very easy to wear. So this is my back, and it is very easy. I will use my bias tape to fold the top. If you want to pick out your dart, fine. But if you don't want, you can reduce the back by 2 inches or 1 inch. So this fabric I'm folding now is for the sleeve. Remember that this sleeve is a long sleeve. The full length should be 24 inches. But you go ahead and add extra 5 inches to it so that it will be full. I have done my first folding. This one is the second fold. I folded twice so that I can get my 2 sleeves once. I'll cut off the rough area. Now I'll place my tape and I'll measure 24 inches for the full length. Then from there, I will also measure 29. I'll add 5 inches seam allowance, that is 29. So this is for allowance so that the sleeve will be full, so that it will fall a bit. We will cut off our full length. Then at the top, you will go in by 10 inches. Then from there you will mark your armhole slant, and your armhole slant will not be too deep. You can see how my own is. Then after that, I will cut the side of this sleeve. So this is our sleeve. We will hem the upper part and the lower part. That is for our elastic. Remember, we are going to add elastic to this. So back to the front part, I will go ahead and hem the upper part. This is for, I'll folded the upper parts for elastic. Remember, I will insert an elastic around the neckline. So here is for the down part. I will open up this down part so that we'll see what it looks like. This is the center. It is 2 pieces, and this is the side. It is 2 pieces as well. So now I am going to join the dart areas, and I will join from the right side. I want the seam allowance to be on the right side of this fabric. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It should be on the right side of the fabric. It will not be inside like the normal seam allowance. So I'll use half an inch to close. So I am done closing, and this seam allowance is on the outside, on the right side. I'll go ahead and fold. You can see how I'm folding it. I'll go ahead and fold this way. Then I will run a stitch on them. It will give this bone illusion. It will look like you inserted a bone there, but there is no bone inside. So I am done closing that seam allowance. I'll bring it close to the camera. You can see what it looks like from the outside. It is very fine. Then we have closed our darts. Right now we'll fold that space for our eyelets. We'll go ahead and fold it. You fold twice. Remember, we added 2 inches for this fold around there, so you go ahead and fold twice. You can see the way I'm folding it. You go ahead and fold twice, then you run a stitch on this. It will make this area thick for your eyelet. You can even add an interface so that it will have strength to carry the eyelet. Right now I am done folding, and this is what we have. We are going to hold the upper part a bit. Just run a stitch on it. they will not overlap too much, just a bit. Just hold them down so that you can gather easily on them. You can see I used a stitch to hold the upper parts down so that they will not be separate. Right now I'll go ahead and gather this top on this down part. I'll gather my top on it. You can run a double stitch and draw your gathers before joining, but I will just do my freehand gathering on it, and I am done. Then at the upper part we will insert our elastic. This is our elastic, and I want to use 10 inches for my elastic. You can use 12, you can use 11, but mine is 10 inches. And after cutting, I will insert my elastic. After inserting the elastic, please remember to stitch this elastic down so that it will not pull out. And that is it for the front for now. Just go ahead and stitch down. Use your sewing machine to stitch this area down, and after doing that we will keep that aside. So this is what it looks like after stitching down. You can see that the upper part is elastic. So this is the back. I have reduced my back by 2 inches because I did not add a dart to the back. I'll go ahead and close my zipper allowance by 1 inch. I want to use 1 inch for my zipper allowance. After that, I will open up and I will iron my zipper allowance. Ironing your zipper allowance is very important. I'll also trim the back because I want the back to be straight. I don't want it to be curved like the front. I don't know if you understand. I want the back to be straight. Then I'll open up the zipper allowance and I will iron. After ironing, we will place the front and the back together and we will shape. Use 1 inch to shape. After shaping, this is what we have. So I will go ahead and turn to the right side and I will iron properly. Iron your side seams, iron your space for the eyelets, iron everywhere that you join so that they will be flat. And before we do that, we will hem the down part. You go ahead and hem the down part. You can use a bias tape to hem this down or the hemline. It depends. Bias tape will be very easy. So after hemming, I'll go ahead and iron properly. After ironing, I will mark where I want my eyelet to be. You can see the points that I'm making there. They should be 1 inch apart. They should be 1 inch away from each other. So I am done marking my space for my eyelets. This is my sleeve. I have not added my elastic to my sleeve, but I have hemmed the top and the down part and the hemline because I will insert my elastic into the 2 spaces that I made for them. You insert an elastic up and also an elastic down. I have folded already. I'll go ahead and insert my elastic. I'll divide my elastic and I will insert at the top and at the lower part. For the top, I used 10 inches for my elastic. It is supposed to be 14, but I used 10 inches so that it will relax very well on our shoulder. Remember, from our shoulder to the chest line, I used 7 inches. So 7 for the front and 7 for the back. It is supposed to be 14, but I made it 10 because I'm using an elastic so that everything will relax perfectly on our body. So I am trying to insert my elastic, and after doing this, I will stitch down so that my elastic will not pull out. Right now I am done inserting my elastic, and this is the top. I will go ahead and pin my sleeve down. You can see that we have an armhole space on this sleeve, but do not trim an armhole on your top for now. It will be difficult for you. Just go ahead and shift your fabric small, then you will go ahead and pin down. You can see the way I'm pinning it now. You go ahead and pin down, pin at the front, and also pin to the back. This method will be very easy for you. Trimming it may be complicated, so just pin it down this way. You go ahead and sew, then also repeat the same thing at the other side. So after pinning, I'll go ahead and join. I'll also open my eyelet spaces. I don't have an eyelet for now. I'll open up the spaces, but they will be very small, very small. You can use a wide eyelet, you can use a very tiny eyelet. It is up to you, but I'm using my scissors to open them for now for the sake of this tutorial. So after opening, I'll go ahead and join my sleeve. After joining the sleeve, I can now trim off my armhole space. I don't know if you understand what I did there. I can now trim off the armhole space of the top so that it will match the armhole space of the sleeve. And at the end of the day, we'll open the back part for our zipper. You open the back part and fix your zipper. This is our top. This is the front. So this is the rope that we use to tie it. I used an orange bias. I used my orange bias to make this rope. I made it very tiny, and with the help of my safety pin, I was able to pass through this rope easily. So after doing this, I'll open my zipper allowance and I will fix my zipper. That's why I said you should iron so that you know where to fix your zipper. So you can see our top is ready and it is very beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do not forget to share and click on the subscribe button, because we are going to be posting amazing tutorials this year. You can also follow me on Instagram at Sew with Ijoma, TikTok at Sew with Ijoma, Facebook at Sew with Ijoma. If you have any style recommendation, you can send me a DM on Instagram and I will reply you all. So thank you all for watching and see you all in my next video. Bye.